Hello and welcome back to another video here on the channel. In today's video, welcome to what's new in Minecraft 1.17. The 1.17 update has now released and can be found on all platforms in your launchers, so go ahead and download it. In today's video, we are going to be showcasing everything that's new and that has changed in this update. For your viewing convenience, today's video has been split up into 4 separate sections. The timestamps to each can be found on the screen and also linked down below in the description. But there is a lot for us to cover today, so without further ado, let's jump in to the blocks and items. The first group of blocks we are going to take a look at in today's video are the amethyst blocks. Firstly, we have the block of amethyst, which when placed and walked on, place a lovely musical sound. This block can be mined with a pickaxe and can also be crafted with 4 amethyst shards. The second block we are going to take a look at is the budding amethyst block. This block will randomly spawn amethyst buds on top, which can then be harvested using a pickaxe or by hand to get yourself amethyst shards. Like the block of amethyst, when walked upon and placed, this one plays a very musical sound. Unlike the block of amethyst, this block cannot be mined and collected by the player. It is unmovable by pistons, meaning where you find it is the only place you can use it to set up a farm. Underground, these blocks will naturally spawn in what are called geodes. Geodes contain all of the types of amethyst blocks. We have the block of amethyst, budding amethyst, and the buds of amethyst, which as we can see have naturally spawned in on different growth stages. Azalea trees, bushes and leaves have all been added into the game. As we can see here, we have the azalea leaves, we have the flowering azalea leaves, we have the azalea, and we have the flowering azalea. Like other leaf types, these will naturally despawn when not placed by a player, and they will drop leaves and azalea bushes. Both types of azalea bushes can be bone mealed to get yourself an azalea tree. These trees generate with the azalea leaf types and oak logs. 2 new stone type blocks have been added to the game. The first is the calcite block and the second is smooth basalt. Calcite comes with no other variants and is just a singular block. Smooth basalt is another variant of the basalt which we saw added in the 1.16 update. There are 2 ways in which to gain smooth basalt, the first being to smelt regular basalt in a furnace and then you will get smooth basalt. The other way is to find it naturally spawning in the world. These 2 blocks of the calcite and smooth basalt will be found naturally spawning in amethyst geodes. As we can see, calcite will surround the block of amethyst and then smooth basalt will surround the calcite. Candles can be crafted using 1 honeycomb and 1 piece of string. Candles can then also be dyed using any coloured dye you like. Candles can be placed down in 4 different ways. This increases the light level they emit and it also increases the amount of candles that are visible. It goes from 1 to 4. All the different types of candles and their lit states can now be seen on your screen. Cave vines, which are also known as glowberries, can naturally be found generating in mineshaft minecart chests. As we can see, we have some glowberries in here. These are quite similar to vines. As we can see, we can place them down just like this, and then we can climb up them in creative and survival mode, just like a regular vine. They can also be bone mealed, and that will then create a glowberry, which when right clicked with your mouse button will drop the glowberry. The glowberry can be eaten and it will give you half a hunger point. Alongside this, the glowberry will also emit a light level of level 14. Glowberries can then be planted on the bottom of a block and then bone mealed, as we can see just there, or glowberries can be placed on the bottom of it to increase the length of it. They can then be bone mealed to add a glowberry on top. Glowberries will grow naturally over time. A new metal, copper, has been added into the game. This block comes with a whole bunch of different variants, some of which you can see here. Copper ore can be smelted down into copper ingots, which can then be crafted into blocks of copper. Blocks of copper can then be crafted into the different types of cut copper, which is what you see here. Cut copper has variants in stairs and in slabs. Not only this, but copper has the unique property of being able to age. Over time, copper will age and become these different variants. As we can see, we have exposed cut copper, we have weathered cut copper, and we have oxidized cut copper. Regular block and cut variant will all oxidize over time. However, copper can also be waxed. This will remove its ability to change over time, and to do this, you can right click on a block of copper with honeycomb. When you have right clicked on a block of copper with honeycomb, this will make it waxed block of copper or waxed variant. That will mean that that block will no longer age over time and will not become the different variants. This of course can be applied to every single type of copper variant. An axe can then be used to remove wax from a block if you like. The stone cutter can also be used to craft all the different variants alongside the use of a crafting table. Wax or honeycomb can be also applied to a copper block or a copper variant within a crafting table. Deep slate is a brand new type of stone block which brings a whole bunch of new variants. Let's take a look at some of them just here. Spawning naturally, you will find regular deep slate, and you may also find infested deep slate which will spawn silverfish when mined. When mining deep slate with a regular unsilk touch pickaxe, you will get cobbled deep slate, and this comes with walls, stairs and slab variants. Then this links on to the rest of the crafting tree. You can then get polished deep slate with walls, stairs and slabs, deep slate bricks with walls, stairs and slabs, and deep slate tiles with walls, stairs and slabs. Alongside this, there are a few unique blocks. We have cracked deep slate bricks and cracked deep slate tiles. And alongside many other stone blocks in the game, we have a chiseled variant with what seems to be a future mob face in the brick. As this stone type spawns naturally, this means that there is an ore type for every single type of deep slate. As we can see, the ore types are in each type of deep slate block. Deep slate can be found naturally spawning in blobs between 0 to Y16, and any ore that spawns within the deep slate will become its deep slate variant. The small drip leaf can be obtained only through a wandering trader, making it very, very rare. The small drip leaf can only be placed on moss blocks or clay blocks without water, or in water with a dirt type block underneath it. The player has no interaction whatsoever with a small drip leaf. The small drip leaf can be bone meal to create a big drip leaf, which when a player or entity stands on, the leaf at the top will tilt first and then will tilt a second time, allowing the entity to fall through, being very useful for parkour. This plant has no default tool, and every single block will drop a big leaf item. As we can see here, if we mine the stem just there, they all fall down and each item drops a big drip leaf. The lightning rod can be crafted with 3 copper ingots and can be placed in any rotation. As suggested by the name, the lightning rod will redirect any lightning to the lightning rod in a 32 by 32 by 32 area. Alongside this, it will also emit a redstone output. During a thunderstorm, the lightning rod will emit white particles, as we can see just now. And when struck by lightning, it will turn bright white. When struck by a channeling trident, this will also redirect the lightning to the rod. The dripstone block can be found naturally generating in some caves, quite rarely, and can be crafted using 4 pointed dripstone. Alongside the generation of the dripstone block, the pointed dripstone will sometimes form spawning stalactites and stalagmites. Stalactites and stalagmites can combine together when they reach each other to form one long static pillar. Dripstone can be found naturally spawning underground in small pockets like you can see just here. For more information about stalactites, stalagmites and dripstone, make sure to watch the gameplay section of this video. A glow ink sac can be crafted with an item frame to create a glow item frame. These item frames do not emit any light, however they themselves will always appear really bright, and so will the items inside of them. So for comparison, here are 2 maps, one is in an item frame and the other is in a glow item frame. Glow lichen can be found underground in any types of cave, both waterlogged caves and regular caves including ravines. Glow lichen can be bone mealed and can spread to any side of a block, including every single face of a block. Its default tool is the shears, and that is the only tool that will be able to be used to make this item drop. Glow lichen also emit a light level of 7. The moss block is a new decorative block which comes with a regular block and a carpet variation. Moss blocks have the unique property of when being placed in the ground and then bone mealed, as we can see here, they will generate a patch of moss with grass and azalea bushes generating around it. They also have the ability to replace any one of these blocks just here. Moss blocks can be obtained in 2 separate ways, one of which being through a chest in a shipwreck and the other through a wandering trader. Powder Snow is a new snow variant block in the game, and players and entities will naturally sink into when walking on top of it. To prevent this, leather boots and leather armour can be used. The default tool for powdered snow is a bucket. The way to obtain powder snow, as it currently doesn't naturally generate, is to use cauldrons while it is snowing. Cauldrons will then gradually fill up with powder snow layers. Then, once fully filled, can be right-clicked on with a bucket to gain yourself a bucket of powdered snow. The way in which metals work in the game has been changed. Gold, iron and copper now will drop raw metal items once mined. This is instead of their regular ore block format. This now means that you can now fortune all types of ore blocks, and as we can see, as we are getting more than one drop per block as we mine these across. Regular ore blocks can also still be silk touched to gain their regular textures. These raw metals, for example raw gold, copper and iron, can then be smelted into ingots or can be crafted into blocks of raw metal. So here we have the block of raw iron, block of raw copper and block of raw gold. These are crafted respectively in a 3x3 grid. Rooted dirt has been added to the game. This is another variant of dirt and grass. The only way to obtain this is by growing an azalea tree, and the block underneath will become rooted dirt. Hanging roots can be gained by bone mealing rooted dirt, and these are a root-like block with no player collision. Another way to gain hanging roots is to use a hoe on rooted dirt. The spore blossom is a new plant which can be placed on the bottom of a block. It is currently unobtainable in survival mode. When placed down, the spore blossom will create green particle effects which will fly around the spore blossom, creating a beautiful atmosphere. The spyglass can be crafted using 2 copper ingots and 1 amethyst shard. The spyglass can then be used to zoom in super far by holding right click. Tinted glass is a new variant of glass which can be crafted using 4 amethyst shards and 1 regular glass. Tinted glass has the unique property of not allowing any light through it. As we can see, we have lava behind all of this glass, but no light is coming out the sides. Another new stone type block which has been added is tuff. Tuff can be found naturally spawning in blobs between 0 to Y16 underground. And here we have an example of tuff spawning down below in your worlds in blobs. The axolotl will spawn in groups of 1 to 4, generally in caves in light level 0. The axolotl will drop nothing upon death. The 5 types of axolotl can be seen on your screen now. Axolotls can be bred using a bucket of tropical fish. Axolotls are naturally aggressive to fish, squids, glow squids, drowns and guardians. They will naturally attack and they will follow you when you hold a bucket of tropical fish. Axolotls will play dead when they reach a certain low health level. They will also then get the regeneration effect, which will allow them to regenerate their health. Similar to the axolotl, the glow squid will spawn in groups of 2 to 4 underwater in total darkness, typically in caves. When killed, the glow squid will drop between 1 to 3 ink sacs and 1 to 3 experience points. The glow squid is incredibly luminous both above water and under the water. Goats will naturally spawn in groups of 2 to 3 in the mountain biome. They will only drop experience when killed. Every 30 to 300 seconds, if a goat has seen a mob, it will attempt to ram it. It will need 4 blocks of space in between the mob, and the mob it attacks, obviously not a player, will not attack back. The goats will deal 9 blocks of knockback damage. Goats can be bred using wheat. Goats can be milked by using a bucket. When bred or spawned in, goats have a 2% chance of being what is known as a screaming goat. Screaming goats are much more likely to ram different entities. Alongside this, they also have a shorter ramming cooldown. "11 new advancements have been added to the game. These are: whatever floats your goat. Get in a boat and float with a goat. Wax on. Apply honeycomb to a copper block. Wax off. Scrape wax off a copper block. The cutest predator. Catch an axolotl in a bucket. The healing power of friendship. Team up with an axolotl and win a fight. Glow and behold. Make the text of a sign glow. Light as a rabbit. Walk on powder snow without sinking in it. Surge protector. Protect a villager from an undesired shock without starting a fire. Is it a bird? Look at a parrot through a spyglass. Is it a balloon? Look at a ghast through a spyglass. Is it a plane? Look at the ender dragon through a spyglass. Cauldrons can now be filled with lava, and pointed dripstone with lava above it will drip lava through it, eventually filling up a cauldron with lava. This makes it the first renewable source of lava. An axe can be used to scrape off layers of oxidization from blocks of copper. If there is copper underneath when lightning strikes a lightning rod, its age will be reduced, meaning layers of oxidization will come off. Dispensers have the ability to place and pick up powdered snow. A skeleton that is placed inside of powdered snow and that cannot leave will eventually convert into a stray. All types of rails can now be waterlogged. When a shulker hits another shulker with a shulker bullet, it has the possibility of duplicating the shulker. This will be shown by a new shulker appearing in green. The glow ink sac can now be applied to signs, which will make the colour of the text stand out very bold. This can be removed with a regular ink sac. The skulk sensor and the bundle can both be gained using commands. For an in-depth detail on what these blocks can do, check out the 1.18 update video when the update releases. While on the credit screen, if you are to hold down the spacebar, it will increase the rate at which they show. To increase it even further, hold down your left control button. And to increase it even further than that, hold down your right control button. Data packs now have the ability to create custom dimensions. These custom dimensions can have both unique height limits and depth limits. A new F3 shortcut has been added. To view all the shortcuts, hold down F3 and press Q. The new shortcut is F3 and L. This will start profiling your game, recording lots of different statistics and data which can be found in your folder. This can be activated by pressing F3 and L. You'll receive a message in chat and it will last for 10 seconds. To stop the profiling early, press F3 and L once again. Once it has finished, it will send a message in chat and also the location of where the debug profile is stored. 2 new game rules have been added to the game, the first of which is game rule freeze damage. When changing this to false, when you go into powdered snow and you get the frozen hearts, you will not take damage. The second game rule which has been added is game rule player sleeping percentage. By using this command, it takes an integer value between 0 and 100, and this percentage of players will be required to sleep before the time turns to day. For example, turning it to 0 will mean only 1 player is required to sleep at night. The /replace item command has now been replaced with the /item command. The light block can be gained using commands and can only be used in creative mode. This can be placed down and has a similar type function to the barrier block. This can then be right clicked on, and this will increase the light level by 1, meaning light levels can be customizable for map makers and builders. While holding the light block, you can then middle click on it, and this will give you a light block with the specific light value. When you are not holding a light block, there is no collision with the light at all, meaning you can break and walk through these blocks without any notice of them being there. Light blocks can also be waterlogged. Mine shafts have received a small update, meaning they will spawn chains or oak logs below, depending on the height value if they are spawning in with a suspended platform. A new accessibility setting has been added, and this is monochrome logo. When turned on, the loading screen for the Mojang Studios will be black and white. Most of the ores in the game have received a texture overhaul, and as we can see here, they have been completely changed in their shape and colour. This, however, does not apply for diamond ore, nether gold ore, and quartz ore. The redstone tab has been reordered to prioritise highly used blocks. They are ordered in the following format: essentials, unique activators, miscellaneous, common activators, and openables. Textures for the compass and the clock have been updated. Alongside this, signs have also received an update to their textures. Minecraft 1.17, what an update, even if it may have been split into two. This video has taken a whole bunch of time to get this ready for you, so if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and I will see you in 1.17. Goodbye.